Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Well, of course, as I've been saying over the last couple of years, the last couple of months especially, Joe Biden is Joe Biden's only hope. He's his last hope. He's the only one who could turn it around. And we heard a similar sentiment from the Fareed Zakaria monologue just the other day on CNN.
Trump could always embroil himself in some kind of scandal. But trend lines are not working in Biden's favor. He needs to do something bold and dramatic to seize the initiative.
The only hope is for Joe Biden to somehow push his message through to turn the tides around, to get the American people back on board with his vision for the nation. But as per usual, there's only one problem. The problem with Joe Biden's campaign is that Joe Biden has to campaign. The problem with Joe Biden's messaging is that Joe Biden has to deliver the message. We got a little glimpse into what that's going to look like this year. The question is, let's just say I don't think this is going to convince anyone. Let me show you guys exactly what I mean by that. Then let's talk about the current state of Bidenomics. We've got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so Joe Biden is officially on the campaign trail. 81 million votes Joe is looking to reinvigorate his voters to once again show up at the polls.
They want to undo what they finally got done. And then what we finally got done is to make up for it. They want to give power back to Big Pharma.
Please cue the facepalm. Here I am again saying the same thing, 81 million votes. Joe Biden, the President of the United States of America. What did I just listen to? And that's not a rhetorical question. When someone says something dumb and you're just like, what did I just listen to? What was that? No, literally, what was that? What did he say? I actually have no idea. That wasn't English. Let's again put that into perspective. The President of the United States, an English country, an English-speaking country, cannot communicate in the English language. And he also can't seem to grasp basic facts. Joe Biden has a very long history in the world of politics. Theoretically, he should be well-read, he should have a good understanding of the issues, but time and time again, frankly, he proves that he's the worst and dumbest president in American history. Here's Joe Biden talking to Yahoo Finance, where he makes some very interesting blunders.
Well, first of all, if you look at the report coming out of the Michigan survey, over 60% of the people in America feel they're personally in good shape. They're personally in good shape. But they look out and they say the rest of the world's not in good shape. Other people aren't in good shape. I think inflation has gone slightly up. It was at 9% when I came in, and it's now down around 3%. But the fact is that I think people are just uncertain.
He first starts off with a blatant lie, claiming that inflation was at 9% when he took office. Even CNN keeps fact-checking him on this issue. Fact-check Biden again falsely claims inflation was 9% when he became president. It wasn't 9%. The month of his inauguration, inflation was 1.4%. They then go on to fact-check, claiming the Biden-era inflation rate did peak at about 9.1%, and that peak occurred back in June of 2022. When Joe Biden was casually telling us that inflation was going to be a little blip on the radar, a small little thing, and quote, if what they've done so far was a mistake, it's gonna show.
And by the way, talk of inflation, the overwhelming consensus is going to pop up a little bit and then go back down. No one's talking about this great, So again, if it turns out that what we've done so far is a mistake, it's going to show.
He is the biggest clown in politics, and time again, he proves that not only is he likely suffering from dementia affecting his memory, but that frankly, he's just an imbecile. What are these idiotic talking points? Inflation was at 9% when I took office, and look at the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Survey. Really? Who gave him that talking point? It's almost parody. Let's go ahead and look at the survey of consumers from the University of Michigan. Preliminary results for May of 2024. Index of consumer sentiment is down to 67.4%. Guess what? That's a month-over-month change of negative 12.7, meaning in 1 month's time, it's dipped more than 10 points. Consumer sentiment retreated about 13% this May following 3 consecutive months of very little change. This 10 index point decline is statistically significant and brings sentiment to its lowest reading in about 6 months. This month's trend in sentiment is characterized by a broad consensus across consumers, with decreased increases across age, income, and education groups. He's doing it again. Consumer sentiment is tanking. Inflation remains sticky. The markets are reacting accordingly.
April read on Producer Price Index, the wholesale inflation gauge, up 0.5% on headline, up 0.5%. That's up 0.5%, and that is the hottest read, well, just since February when it was up 0.6. And if we look at ex-food and energy, same number, more than double expectations, as Becky pointed out, up 0.5%. That is the hottest read there. It equals January. You have to go to July of last year to get a hotter read. Another hot read is ex-food, energy, and trade. It's up 0.4, exactly double expectations. To find a hotter read, you have to go to January of this year when it was up 0.6.
We keep seeing bad headlines, like this one, for instance. Small businesses are racking up credit card debt, raising concerns. Small businesses are increasingly turning to credit cards as a key source of funding as they continue to grapple with high inflation and rising borrowing costs. The labor force participation rate has struggled to return to pre-pandemic levels, hovering around 62 to 63% in 2022 and 2023 compared to being over 63% before the pandemic. The GDP growth rate has been extremely volatile, with a significant contraction in the first quarter of this year. The simple fact is Biden's economy isn't meeting targets or expectations, but rather falling well below expectations across the board when it comes to job creation, labor force participation, reduction in inflation, reduction in the deficit. The growth rate fell well below, extremely short of expectations. Across the board, things are bad. Consumers feel that way. And what's the response from the Biden administration? The official response from the White House? Well, look at the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Survey. Is this guy dumb? And when it's not pointing to cruddy survey numbers that make him look horrible because his interpretation or his understanding is the opposite of, well, reality, it's a bunch of incoherent mumbo jumbo.
They want to undo what they finally got done. And then what we finally got done is to make up for it. They want to give power back to Big Pharma.
Brings me right back to the question, how is this guy going to turn it around? How is that possible? It seems rather impossible. I don't know, but time will tell. I'm curious to see what's going to happen at the DNC convention in Chicago. And of course, we'll see what happens on the campaign trail and on the debate stage. I wonder if he's going to keep claiming that inflation was at 9% when he took office. Joe Biden once again proves that he's the most dishonest, most incompetent, most imbecilic president of all time. In other words, business as usual in 2024. That's pretty much what I got for you guys on this one. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.